to the weekend edition
What a day
of the PM show here with Larry Manetti, joined by his wonderful wife, Nancy.
Hello, hello.
And now I'm excited to welcome to the program Nelson Sardelli. How you doing?
Nelson, hi.
Are you there, Nelson?
Nelson, you there?
Did we lose Nelson?
Oh,
Did
looks
you?
like we're going to be getting a hold of Nelson in a second. Tomas has got a handle on that. So let's just continue on the talk about Nelson, our man here. You guys were talking. Have you ever actually seen him live in Vegas?
Oh, many times. He did our show. He
We
did
used to
our
have,
show at the Plaza Hotel, and he's just. I mean, we'll talk to him about it. He's just has so many. He's so prolific and sings, dances. I mean, you don't get that anymore.
No, he's multi-talented.
We had
He's
everybody.
just fabulous.
Sonny King, who's now gone.
Well, we used to have a celebrity brunch there every Sunday, and everybody would come and join in the fun and sing and dance and carry on, and we just had the best time. And Nelson was there almost every Sunday. It was great.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Tomas, how are we doing? We got him now on line 6? Nope, I guess we don't. Not yet. So we'll sooner or later we're going to get this cleaned up, I'm sure. So as being there at the beginning of Vegas and everything starting, that's weird how he probably was able to fight through this.
To begin with, the Plaza Hotel is one of the old time hotels.
Well, I don't think people understand this, that Las Vegas is actually the downtown area. It's the Fremont Street area.
Yeah.
The rest of it came in way later. So when we had the Plaza Hotel, that was the original old Vegas.
That's right. And Gone. What was his name? Jackie Gone?
What is that?
Oh,
Hello?
Nelson, you there?
Hello.
Nelson.
Hey, Nelson. Got you, buddy.
How are you, buddy?
How are you, my man? How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm so happy. We're all excited that you're on the air with us.
Hi, Nelson. It's Nancy.
I didn't quite get
It's
that.
my wife, Nancy.
It's Nancy.
Oh, hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
And we have Ray,
I
who's our
am
guest
delightful
host.
myself.
So, Nelson, how's your daughter?
Well, I have two of them. Giovanna is in New York. Pietra is in Vegas, working for the 3 Square Food Bank, feeding the poor.
That's a good thing.
Wow.
And Giovanna is in New York, teaching at New York University and directing of Broadway plays.
That's
and things like
fabulous.
that.
That's fantastic.
Yes, it's very, very interesting. God has been very kind to me by the treasure that He gave me, my daughters.
Nelson, how old were you when you came from Brazil?
When I came from Brazil, I was almost 22 years old. I was 21 year and a half.
Wow. So how did you start singing in Brazil or when you got to the States?
No, my singing in Brazil was, Brazilians, we all sing. Come Mardi Gras, we sing on the streets and stuff like that.
Were you all very
And
musical?
my being Italian descent, that was one way that I would go to my father and I say, I want some money. He says, well, sing me an Italian song. So I started getting paid right from the beginning. But I wasn't a singer. I went to study opera and was there is no room for mediocrity. You either good or else you're going to be holding the spear in the background.
Oh.
True.
Really?
That's true.
Yeah, so I kind of after a few days, because the teacher says, don't shut up and don't talk until next Thursday. I said, you're out of your mind. And
Yeah.
the friend that went with me, he stayed with, and he became, an international singer. And but I just, didn't think. And then I had too much humor going for me that he spoiled. I could not take things too seriously for some reason.
Well, I think that's
Okay.
a good thing.
Yeah, I can't complain. I've been very lucky because I came to the States without speaking English, which apparently hasn't changed much.
Oh, you're wonderful. You're wonderful.
How many languages do you speak?
Well, I speak Portuguese, being Brazilian, Italian, Spanish, French, English, and profanity.
You got all the fun languages under your belt.
Oh, let's speak profanity.
I'm big in profanity. I've been in 2 armies, so I know combination of words that people don't even know they go together.
So what was that like when you first got here? You got drafted as soon as you got into America,
Well,
right?
I was here, again, I came here thinking that I was going to get jobs in General Motors because I worked for GM in Brazil. And I got nothing, so I started teaching dancing. And then in 6 months I was drafted, and I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and then Fort Gordon in Georgia. And it was wonderful. I thought it was great because it made me feel like I belonged, you know what I mean? I didn't come here just to take. I want to put in what I had to become part of the solution and not of the problem.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So what? So I'm curious. After you got out of Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and you got out of the Army, how did you find your first break?
Well, everything in life look like, happens, and you just got to go with the flow sometimes. You're shooting for something. I knew that eventually I would end up in show business. I did not know where or how, but I knew that was it. And what happened is I was in Michigan. I was at the time teaching dancing, no longer for Arthur Murray, but private, and making a lot of money, I must confess.
Wow.
And one night I went to meet a young lady, which happens to be former Miss Michigan. We're talking 1903 here, so. And
old school.
And I was sitting in this. There was a nice restaurant that had a piano player, a lady Irene Bader that could play any song in any key. And was a nice restaurant, and the guests would get up and sing with her. I think it was pre-karaoke days.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wasn't there to sing. I was there waiting for the young lady. I sat in the bar, and I don't drink. So when the guy says, "What are you going to have?" I said, "Orange juice." And the boss came, and he sat next to me, lovely man, Mr. Louis Dorman. And we started talking, and he was checking me out, because maybe to some people I look like I'm a rough guy, which I'm not. I'm just a pussycat. And he started talking to me, and then all of a sudden he says, why don't you get up and sing, And I look at him and say, why don't you get up and dance? What kind of conversation is this?
Nelson, Nelson, can you hang in there with us? We have to take a break right now.
I don't have a life. This is it.
Well, you're going to be our life.
Well, hold on, honey.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We're going to break for a minute.
We're excited, and you want to learn about the gun twirling. That's what I'm interested in hearing about, Nelson.
Well, I want to hear about his career first, and then we want to talk about our neighbor's cat that we found in our refrigerator.
But
God forbid.
That's an awkward moment, I'm sure.
No, everything turned out good. Everything turned out. Don't get alarmed.
That was fine. So, Nelson, hang in there with us.
I'm hanging. Watch me hanging.
And we got our little friend here, Froggy. Twang your magic twanger, Froggy.
We'll be back here on the PM show with Larry Manetti.